Alright folks, how are we doing? So today we're going to be talking about how to get underneath the bar. I'm going to be specifically talking about getting underneath the bar properly for snatches. I might do a separate video on cleans, but a lot of what I'm talking about is going to be pretty widely applicable to both of the lifts. Alright? This is something that people love to overcomplicate, and I'm going to give you a couple of different answers. Maybe something for beginners, something for more intermediates that are struggling with this. But for the most part, I don't want you to overcomplicate it. I don't want you to overthink it. It's just something a lot of weightlifters love to do. We love to get up in our own heads about it. Stop doing that, all right? If you've got a couple of seconds before I do this one, before I go through it, if you want to like, subscribe, maybe leave some comments down below of other stuff you want me to cover, that'd be super appreciated. All right, so this might look a little something like you. Maybe you're doing your lifts from whatever position. Let's say you're doing from the floor or the hang. We bring them up, and you're catching it around here. You're just not quite getting down to where you want to be, to the level you want to be. Or you're catching it here and then you're riding it down and it just looks a little awkward. Maybe this is something, if you're a beginner, this might be something that maybe you've had pointed out to you and you just want to learn a little bit more. Maybe you've recorded yourself in a video for the first time and you've paused it and you've been like, holy hell, you know, in your head, you were catching it down here, but then you've paused it and you're catching it basically in some kind of power snatch or god-awful muscle snatch kind of situation. So we want to correct that. The first thing for most beginners is just awareness and practice at appropriate weights, which isn't the most exciting, right? But biggest mistake I see beginners make when they come to me is they use weights that are too heavy and they don't do enough practice reps. So they do lots of heavy singles and doubles, weights that are too much, so they ingrain poor movement patterns. And they're not quite aware of how poor those movement patterns are. And if that's you, that's completely fine, because that was me when I started this stuff back in the day as well. So if you've noticed in videos you're making these movement patterns where you're just doing this, you need to stop doing that, okay? It's the simplest correction. You need to grab something super light, a stick, a PVC, a bit of wood. If you're really strong, just use an empty bar, that's fine as well. Anything, a little bit of, it could just, anything that somewhat resembles a bar, all right? And then just start practicing, even super slowly, moving underneath. And being active with the arms and pulling down. And I'm not super fussed on whether you do it from here, from high hangs, from a tall snatch. Honestly, doesn't make too much difference. I just want you to focus on being active with the arms and then pulling down into that position, okay? And just getting into the habit of pulling down underneath the bar. Do that for, I don't know, 6 sets of 5 to 6 to 10 reps before every workout, and you'll start to see over the process of a few weeks, it starts to become more natural and more automatic, all right? That's the first thing you need to do, just keep on doing it. And then once it feels way more comfortable and automatic, you just bring the weight up a little bit, you know? You start doing it with a bar or with 25 kilos, with 30 kilos, just nice light reps, nice and simple, nice and easy. Just drill it properly, drill it over and over and over and over and over again, all right? But what if that hasn't worked? What if you are past that stage, you don't really consider yourself a beginner, maybe you've been doing this for a while and it's an error that has either appeared in your lifting or it's an error that you've never quite got rid of and you feel you could lift more if you could get underneath the bar faster, quicker, more aggressively. Well, for that, I reckon you've got 2 or 3 drills that are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck, okay? I'm going to assume that you're stable overhead. I'm going to assume, okay, that you have a stable overhead squat, all right? If you don't have that, then you're not an intermediate. You're right back at the beginner stage, so don't even be, just go back to the initial advice. If you are an intermediate, all right? First things you can do to think about getting under the bar quicker, you can do a tall snatch, which is just really simple, okay? You don't have to worry about any of this. There's no hinging at the hips. All we're gonna do is just from there, pull ourselves under aggressively. So it's that big shrug, big extension, and then pull under, okay? That's all we're gonna do. So just quickly using those arms, using the traps, pulling underneath the bar super, super quickly. Once you can do that, I like to integrate that with a high hang, like a high hang snatch or a high hang clean. You can even do them as a complex. So you might do one tall snatch where you go boom, and then you're gonna add on a high hang where you go slightly over the bar, up, and then boom. Okay, so slightly over the bar, contact, and then in. So you get to combine the tall snatch, big shrug, pull under, nice and quick, nice and aggressive, and then you get to bring in that extension of the hips, all right? So those 2 drills, most of the time, will get you moving quicker under the bar, more aggressively, way more fluidly. The last thing you might want to do if you're really struggling is you might want to grab some blocks, potentially some high block or some blocks sort of mid-thigh kind of level. If you don't have blocks, honestly just try and stack a bunch of plates. It works occasionally, you don't have to go super heavy. And you can practice almost working on the extension plus then getting under the bar. So this is what I see in more intermediate lifters. It's not that you can't get under, it's that you can't get a good extension with proper weight followed by getting under. So it's the timing, it's the transition between aggressive extension and then move under the bar. So to train that, like block high hand cleans, high block snatches are really, really useful. You can even pair them with something like a pull or a high pull to really reinforce those mechanics. So if I had my bar set on a block, this would also work from a high hang as well, but ideally a block, it just takes less energy. So for a block, you could do high pull, and then underneath. High pull, and then underneath. So you get to work on the combination of that aggressive extension and then the timing of that speed underneath the bar. So they're my combination of drills. That's my advice for you as a beginner. That's some drills for you specifically as an intermediate, and maybe even as a late intermediate who's working on those timing qualities, okay? I reckon that's about 6 minutes in the video. That will probably do for today. If you've got any questions, anything else you want to know about this specific sort of type of weightlifting, any like technical errors that you want me to help you out with, topics you want me to cover, drop them down in the comments and I will try and get to them as soon as I can. Other than that, if you want to do the whole like, subscribe, share around algorithmy, YouTubey stuff, that's much appreciated. And I will catch you in the next one. See you later.